Good morning, darlings. Welcome to Morning Joan, the only podcast where you get your daily dose of entertainment news, fashion tea, and a whole lot of attitude. I'm your host, Joan, and I'm so glad you're joining me today. Now, let's dive right into it. Have you heard about Jenna Ortega's latest project, Death of a Unicorn? Yes, honey, it's a horror comedy starring Jenna and the one and only Paul Rudd. I mean, can you think of a better pairing? The film is about a father and daughter who accidentally kill a unicorn, because why not? And things get crazy from there. Now, I know what you're thinking, Joan. This sounds like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And to that, I say, guilty as charged. But trust me, darlings, this film has got some serious star power behind it. With a cast that includes Téa Leoni, Will Poulter, and Richard E. Grant, you know it's going to be a wild ride. So when can you get your hands on Death of a Unicorn? Well, it's expected to debut on digital streaming via premium video on demand on Tuesday, April 29. That's right, folks, you'll be able to rent it for $19.99 or buy it for $24.99 in Prime, Applet, and Fandango at home. Now, I have to give it up to Jenna Ortega. This girl is on fire. From Wednesday to Scream and now Death of a Unicorn, she's proving herself to be one of the most versatile young actresses in Hollywood. And can we talk about how adorable she is? I mean, I'm not biased or anything, but I think she's just fabulous. Anyway, enough gushing about Jenna Ortega for now. We'll have more on Death of a Unicorn and other juicy entertainment news throughout the show. So, stay tuned, darling. And before we go to break, let me ask you, are you excited to see Death of a Unicorn? Do you think it's going to be a hit or a miss? Let us know on social media using the hashtag, #MorningJoan. We'll be right back with more tea on Morning Joan. Welcome back to Morning Joan. I hope you're all doing fantastically well today. We've got a fascinating story to dive into and I just can't wait to share it with you. You know how we love a good mystery, and this one's got it all. Celebrities, intrigue, and a dash of skepticism. So let's get started. It appears that a journalist, Bernard Bale, has been making waves in the publishing world with his extensive collection of celebrity interviews. From George Clooney to Johnny Depp, he seems to have an incredible knack for getting A-listers to open up to him. But, as it often does, skepticism started to creep in when some of these celebrities began to deny ever speaking with Mr. Bale. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could someone possibly fabricate interviews with such high-profile individuals? Well, it seems that Mr. Bale has been working as a freelance journalist for various publications, including Somerset Life and Derbyshire Life, and has been supplying them with these supposedly exclusive interviews. But when The Guardian started digging deeper, they discovered some discrepancies in his stories. For instance, an interview with George Clooney about his love for Derby County Football Club sparked a national news frenzy, but it turned out that the quotes used in the article didn't quite match up with the headline. And when The Guardian reached out to Clooney's press office, they couldn't get a comment. Suspicious much? But here's the thing. Mr. Bale claims that he has records of all his interviews, and that he's not responsible for how his work is presented or edited. He even suggested that some of the ways his stories were displayed didn't match the way they were originally pitched. So, who's to blame here? Is it the journalist, the editors, or someone else entirely? As we continue to follow the story, it's becoming increasingly clear that something fishy is going on. The Guardian has seen no evidence that the interviews were obtained illegitimately, but sources close to the stars say they don't recall speaking with Mr. Bale. It's a bit of a puzzle, isn't it? Now, I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but it does seem that Mr. Bale has been having a rather creative career, shall we say? With a 6-decade span in the industry, he's certainly had his fair share of experience. But as we all know, experience doesn't always equal credibility. So, what do you think, dear listeners? Are you buying into Mr. Bale's story, or do you think there's more to it than meets the eye? Let us know on social media using the hashtag, #MorningJoan. And that's all for this segment of Morning Joan. Stay tuned for today's last cup of tea, right here on Morning Joan. Welcome back to Morning Joan, folks. We're diving into the fascinating world of superheroes and cinematic universes. Today, we're talking about the Man of Steel himself, Superman, and the intricate plans surrounding his upcoming film. It seems like DC Studios has a solid strategy in place, with James Gunn at the helm, to bring this iconic character back to the big screen. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Joan, what if it doesn't work out? Fear not, dear listeners, because it appears that the studio has thought this through. If Superman is a blockbuster hit, then DC and Warner Bros. Are looking at a bright future ahead, with a plethora of exciting projects in the pipeline. And even if it's just a moderate success, they can still build upon that momentum with upcoming films like Supergirl. But here's the thing, if Superman doesn't quite fly as high as expected, the studio has a backup plan. They can shift their focus to Matt Reeves' The Batman series, which is already gaining traction and has a dedicated fan base. It's not hard to imagine a scenario where Batman's grounded, dark universe overlaps with the more fantastical world of Superman, creating a rich and compelling narrative. And let's not forget about the outliers, folks. If all else fails, DC could even consider licensing some of their properties to streaming giants like Netflix or Apple. I mean, who wouldn't want to see animated movies based on the Snyderverse? It's a win-win situation. The studio gets to generate revenue and fans get to enjoy more content. So as we look ahead to the summer release of Superman, it's clear that DC Studios has thoughtfully positioned themselves for success. They're not rushing into anything, and they've got a solid plan in place, no matter what the future holds. That's all for today's Morning Joan. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay fabulous.